Hi, Arjit. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Arjit? Can you hear me? Your mic is on mute. Please. Hi, Abhijit. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Abhijit?
Hello.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, just now only I'm hearing. Okay. So you're the first one join, and we will wait for some more people. Totally supposed to be 5 people for
Okay.
this batch. So let's
Okay.
wait for a few more people.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, I just put my video block, and I will be online. I can hear the audio and all. So let's see. We will wait for 5 to 10 minutes, see whether how many people are joining.
Okay, no problem.
Hi, Anthony, are you there? Can you hear me? Hi, Anthony, are you there?
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. Is it Anthony Dayanand?
Yes, speaking. Yeah, right.
Yeah, good evening. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Very good. Okay, and you are the second person join. So we will wait
Right.
for some more people to join, then we will start.
All right, all right.
So meanwhile, I'll just mute my video, and also audio will be on, but only video I will mute. One by one, let's join, then I will, we can start.
All right.
Hello.
Yeah, Abhijit.
Can we start now? Because I think
Ye- Yeah, I think it's almost 12, I mean,
12.
15 minutes
Yeah.
already. No, nobody, I mean, only, what do you call, Anthony only is here. Okay,
Yeah.
I think only two people. I think let's start without delay. Maybe somebody has replied. 1 minute. Yeah, I think Shipra also, she said in WhatsApp, she's unable to join. Okay, so only two people we start and maybe we make it like, until 9 o'clock or something, 8:30 to 9, we stop it because not many people are there. So otherwise I have to repeat for them also, right? Okay, let's start with the class, but I hope you both have received the material, slides and all, have you?
No,
Somebody
not yet.
joined. Somebody joined.
No,
Who
I
is
don't
this?
think.
Okay, you have not received that material. The
No,
slides and all
no
have
one is
not
received.
received.
No.
Only we can
Okay.
see the display. I mean, shared for what you are shared.
Okay, no problem. So I'll inform them. They will send it to you, the material, the slides and all. Even though I'm sharing that material, no problem.
Okay.
1 minute, somebody join. May I know who's joined us?
It's unmuted, I think.
Is it Shipra?
I think you need to unmute
Shipra?
her.
I have unmute already too. Can you hear me, Shipra? Hello. Okay, let's see. Unmute her already, but she's saying she is unable to join, but I'm seeing her number here. Okay, let's start without anything. Okay, let me introduce myself first of all. I'm your faculty. Okay, let me put my video. Okay. Let me introduce about myself. I'm basically master in chemical engineering, almost having 20 years of experience, and I have a 17 years experience in gas industry, and plus 5 years plus I'm into this sharing the knowledge and not being a faculty in a different subject. I'm doing a PMP and also cost control, CCP, and planning and scheduling those things. And now I'm started to provide the training for this chemical UPDA chemical exam preparatory course also. Right, this is what my background, and most likely, I mean, whatever experience I have, it is in downstream of gas industry. I mean, gas reprocessing industry. I hope how many people, I don't know whether you know about Linde Engineering.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know.
Worked in this company.
know
Linde Engineering mostly, right? Or British Oxygen. Somebody said yes. I just asked some more question. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Which company you heard, Abhijit? Is it a Linde or a BOC? Or do you?
Come again? I didn't hear it properly.
Which company you said you know, or that company you
Linde.
heard about that? Which company? Linde.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Linde is very common. They are the one doing a plant, machineries and engineering things there only. But I was into Linde Gas actually. And I was in
Okay.
Singapore. Almost 16 years experience was in Singapore. And I was with Linde Gas Singapore and also British Oxygen in Singapore. So that's what my background. Then I worked in India also in Praxair. About 3 years I was there. Then
Hello. Hello.
I think she disconnected. Got disconnected.
Yeah, might be. Yeah.
Can you hear me now, please? Just to know.
Yes, yes.
Okay. My
Now it
headphones
is clear.
are working, that means. Thank
Hi,
you.
Shipa. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. My headphone was not
So
working actually. So I was trying to
I
speak.
saw your message. You are not joining, so I thought you are not joining. So luckily, you also got it connected.
Yeah.
Right. So I just was giving introduction about myself, and this is what my background and about experience and everything. Let's move on to the next slide. This is about the subject. This is what the topic we are going to talk about: heat transfer, process calculation, thermodynamics, reaction kinetics, fluid mechanics, and pump,
Just
and distillation and project management.
can I ask you
And
one
we talk
question,
about
please,
here
ma'am?
today. We are going to start with the heat transfer.
Ma'am,
And
can I
before
ask you one
we go
question?
into the subject, I just would like to know from everybody, what you are doing and what is your expectation. Please.
I just want to ask, like, when do you expect the exam to happen?
No, but I'm not really sure about that because maybe we will come to know, concrete answer maybe in the September, because as of now the school college is not started. I don't think the exam will be started August. September maybe we will come to know when they are going to start. But the office all open already. Office has opened and there is a pending document, everything they started to call. That is the process is started. And we hear the exam hall also, they make it like, with the social distancing, big hall, they make it. And the date when they are, because a lot of application is still pending. Right? There are whatever the application submitted, the schedule that exam, that is also still pending. And people already submitted a application, also waiting for their response, that is also pending.
Okay, okay, ma'am.
The first week of September, because the things are getting Qatar. So I hope in September first week we will come to know.
Okay, fine. Thank you, ma'am.
So anybody has submitted the application or anything?
I did. I
You did
submitted
already,
my
submitted.
documents as well. Yes.
Okay, so how about any result has come out?
Nothing.
When
I
schedule?
did nothing.
Nothing. They didn't have you went to the office and submitted your original document and you collected back your original everything?
No. I just submitted the documents. I didn't collect it back. I mean,
Okay,
I am
so
expecting them that I'll receive some message from them to collect it back, right?
yeah. So you will receive a message, then you go and collect. From the date of collection, if a normal procedure I'm talking about, normally from the date of document collected back from you, from UPD office, it will be like 2 to 3 months, because there are a lot of waiting list people will be there. So
2 to 3
that was the
weeks.
normal. 2 to 3 months.
Months.
2 months at least.
Okay.
2 months at least.
Okay.
Because a lot of people wait. I'm talking about in the normal routine way, right? That means before this pandemic.
Okay.
Right, but now I'm not really sure how long it would take, because there are still examination pending, there are still document pending, everything is there. So now I'm not really sure. So once you got the message to collect the document, then it shows you have something started to progress. 2 months, 3 months, you will get the scheduled date. But scheduled date, they don't tell you in advance. They will tell you tomorrow or day after tomorrow is the day.
But then we will be
to
ready. Once we will collect the documents, that is a point
Yes.
for us to start, get ready for the
Yes, start
exam.
preparing for the exam and make ready, and you can closely monitor the running number. They will give you the number, right? So what is this now? What is the current number? That you can check with our Green International office. They will tell you what is the number is going on now, right? Because a lot of students go and write the exam. At that time, we will come to know what is the number is going on, examination number. So from there, you can estimate
expected time for the
when
exam.
you can get. Yeah. So So once you collected, you start preparing the examination, and you will come to know at the time of running number wise, you will come to know which week it is going to be.
Okay, fine.
Right. Any other, how about Abhijit and Anand? So before just would like to get introduction about individuals. How about start with Shipra? Tell me about yourself, Shipra. What you are doing and
I'm working with Qatar Industrial Manufacturing Company since 2013. So I basically cleared my chemical engineering in 2006, and then I joined a consultancy for say 3 years. Then I joined equipment selling company MNC, and then I started working with the group which was installing a plant in Qatar. And now I'm working with this. This is a actually investing company, semi-government company which invests in small and medium scale plants. So I'm into project development.
Very good, super. So now because of your, why you want to do this EPDA? Because your license requirement, your ID requirement, or your company?
No. Actually, my company never asked for this, but the point is like recently they said no, all contracts are to be again, stamped by municipality. And for that, they just need this license. They didn't stamp my contract. Yes. So that's the reason I'm giving this exam.
Okay, total how many years of experience you have?
Total, it's from 2006 till now. It's around maybe 14 years.
Okay, where did you complete your chemical? They were bachelor or master? Bachelor.
I did MBA after that, but I'm bachelor in chemical engineering, and I did it in 2006. I'm 2006 pass out.
Which college or which university you are from?
This is UP Tech University, Dr. Ken Modi Institute, India.
Okay, so that's in UP, is it?
Yes, it's in UP.
Very good. Okay, how about Abhijit? Abhijit, can you just brief about introduction about yourself? Abhijit, are you there?
I think he got disconnected.
Hello.
He's there. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. What are you saying? I was just.
No, I would like to get introduction about yourself. What you are doing? What is your background? How many years of experience in the field like this?
Yeah. I'm currently working in Worley Parsons since November 2019 as a senior project engineer.
Okay.
And earlier I passed out in 2005 BE Chemical from the Shivaji University, Maharashtra. And for 2-3 years I was working in the SR Oil Limited, Jamnagar Refinery.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I joined Larsen & Toubro Limited, EPC organization.
Okay.
There was almost 10 years I was there in the Larsen & Toubro hydrocarbon business.
Okay.
The project
so you mean L&T, right? You said just now which location? Is it Baroda or
Powai location, Mumbai.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, great. So you are here from Qatar from 2019 or 18?
Yeah,
19 last year.
Yeah, last year. Yeah.
Okay, so that means you got your ID and everything. Why do you want to do your things now?
Actually, to get the because I'm working as a senior project engineer here. So for my company, for the project team, it is mandatory to have the
this EPDA, right? EPDA. So what kind of projects you are doing actually? You are in a project, you are into design or which area for project?
Engineering design.
Engineering design. Okay, so currently what project, what plant or anything, what is going on?
Currently projects are going for some shutdown related jobs from the Capco and QChem, which they have proposed plant shutdown. So we are doing the engineering for them.
Right, very good. Okay, how about Anand?
Yep. I did my diploma in 1996 and I worked with Speak Heavy Chemicals in Chennai for an year.
Very good. Okay.
Then I joined my BTech Chemical Engineering in St. Joseph College of Engineering, Chennai.
Okay.
And I completed in 2000 and worked with Reliance Jamnagar for almost 1.5 years.
Okay.
In operations, and then I shifted to KNPC Kuwait.
Okay.
In operation, I worked in a gas plant.
Okay.
Then from there, I shifted to the projects in the commissioning sections with NPCC Abu Dhabi.
Okay.
I was there for almost a year and a couple of months, and then I shifted to Doha Petroleum Construction Company, which is an EPC company, works into the oil and gas sectors. And right now, I'm working as engineering and commissioning coordinator in our engineering department and leading the department as of.
Still in the same Qatar construction company.
Yeah,
right?
it's almost 11 years now.
Okay, very good.
We are running now, and earlier we didn't have any requirement to enroll into this one, and now to renew the RP, it has been made as a mandatory thing. So we are forced to. Earlier it was only for the engineering consultants who is working into the design. Now it has been made for engineers who are under the engineering visa, right? So it has been.
Now it's become mandatory.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Right. And you became something seems to be you are in a Middle East champion. You are Abu Dhabi, Kuwait, Doha, everywhere.
Almost.
Very good. Right, very good. Okay, let's start the subject. First one. See, what they are going to ask you, what we frame up the topic is based on the, the question is being asked in the exam, because there is no any UPDA website or something. They have not published, these are the topic we are going to ask and everything. And we had initially some discussion with people over there, and there is some sample questions also we have taken from them, and periodically we will get update what are the some questions, what are the questions and everything. The exam is a 1 hour examination, 25 questions, all are MCQ, no negative marks. Right, you should get 50% above. That means 13 questions. If you are right, then you are pass. They won't give you the marks and all. It's only give you the pass. That's it. But you will come to know how many questions.
It is mandatory.
You will come to know how many.
Yeah, it is mandatory to pass in each section, like project management. Then.
No. The 25 questions is going to be a mix of all these chapters. What I show you, right? These chapters. 25 questions is mix of in all 17
25 chapters. Each for 4 marks.
I'm not really sure about 100 marks or anything, but what I tell you, 25 questions, 13 questions, if you are right, you are pass.
Okay.
Whether each question 1 mark or 2 mark, that I'm not really sure.
Okay,
but you will come to know at the end of examination how many questions you got right. That you will come to know. The passing is 13 questions you should be right, because each is MCQ only, right? Each question you have 4 options. So it seems to be not like a 4 mark or 10 mark. I see is maybe 1 mark. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, because for PMP it has to pass in each sections, all the sections. We need to score them more than 50%, then only we clear that exam. So that's why I thought it would be same here also. So that's why I asked.
See, PMP is a different concept, I would say, because they focus on the 5 process: initiating, planning, execution, monitoring, control, and closing. 5 process group, and they are going to evaluate in each process group how was your skill and knowledge. So at least you should have scored some percentage in each one. So then the overall they talk about out of I think 200 questions, right? You should score something about 70 or 70% above, if I'm not wrong, right? So that was the PMP. There's exam, but at least they have given what I was saying, PMP or some other international certification program. They have given these other topics. Right? So, but here it is not given. This is like to test your chemical, whether you have some basic chemical engineering knowledge. That's what we can see, because if you see chemical engineering 4-year syllabus, it's a 4-year subject. We cannot cover with a 1 year exam, 1 hour examination with the MCQ. We can't test everything. right? So that we can't cover the topic also. Maybe they can test, but we can't cover all the topics within for 1 hour examination. So what we did, we have some discussion and collaborations with the UPDA people and everything. So we got some little bit update. So this is what, based on that, the topic has been set up. There are repeatable some questions also being asked here. So if you, whatever the topic we covered and exercise questions we are practicing here, and that is sufficient enough, right? You can practice that one, and I will share some more questions which we keep on update our database about what kind of question is it. That also we will share. If you are very thorough about that questions and all, no problem, you can easily pass the exam. That's what I want to say here. Okay, so first we will start with the heat transfer. Here is going to be very basic thing, not really in a detail or so much of derivation and all, because it's all talking about only MCQ, right? So there are basic introduction about the subject, very basic things I'll give. Then we take some sample questions. Then we move on to the next chapter. This is how I will frame that whole session. 3 fundamental type of heat transfer, as you know: conduction, convection, radiation. Right? Conduction is the heat from one body to the another body, right? And another is most likely with a physical contact or without some appreciable displacement particles of body. There is not much movement of the body actually, right? That's called conduction. And the convection, you know, right, from is a transfer of heat from one point to another within a fluid or gas or liquid by mixing of one portion with another. There is a 2 type of convection: natural convection and forced convection. Natural means it will happen because of the density differences, right? Because of the density and also the temperature differences, is natural convection will happen. Whereas forced conversion means you force the air or some other fluid to really make it as a coolant or transferable media, right? That's called a forced conversion. The motion is produced by mechanical means, where the forced velocity is relatively low. Should be realized the free conversion, density, temperature may have important influence also here in the forced convection. Radiation means, you know, there is a transfer of heat from one body to another. There is no contact. There is no convection, it's a wave motion, right? That is called a radiation. There are 3 basic heat transfer transmission principles. Just to recall the conduction, right? Just first the topic we are going to talk about conduction. So that's for law, fundamental equations, heat transfer, right? The heat transfer rate of flow of heat, dq by d theta, that is nothing but minus Ka dt by dx, right? K is your thermal conductivity. A is the area. dt by dx is the temperature, change of temperature with the distance, right? With the distance in the direction of flow of heat. That's the general equation for heat transfer. When you're talking about the thermal conductivity, so you have to just remember about some of the thermal conductivity. I have a sheet later on, I will pass it to you all, but currently I don't have. There are different material. What is a thermal conductivity? There may be a possible question. They will give you one of the material, saying about what is the thermal conductivity. You know, that kind of question also possible. That I will share. But generally remember, thermal conductivity, cork, wool, right? They are normally will be used as an insulation material in the plant, right? So that will be 2.2 times of air. Rubber is a 1.6 times of air. Just remember these 2. And some simple method to calculate, to understand more about the conduction. If you see here, there is a 3 plate. Mostly when you're talking about the heat transfer, mostly will be in calculation questions. Okay, they will talk about, they will give you some scenario. They were asked us to calculate the conductivity or heat transfer rate and everything. We will see some sample questions also later on. Then you will understand. And here, if you see, there's a 3 plate in touch. See here, it is a first temperature T1 and the last temperature is, I guess, is a T4. As I couldn't see here, it's a T4. So in between T2 and T3. So this is a thickness or length of the each plate. So heat transfer rate is nothing but K1, thermal conductivity of that particular material. A1 is the area. Delta T1 is a temperature difference between T2 minus T1. Right, delta T1. And delta T2 is nothing but T3 minus T2. Similarly, delta T3 is a T4 minus T3. So then it become a overall, because when you're talking about the resistance is a inversely proportional to conductance, right? That's what we talk about. RT means is a straight away we put R1 plus R2 plus R3, right? That's our overall total resistance. That's why here if you see thermal conductivity will be irreversibly proportional. X is the plate thickness, A is the area, right? And there is a unit of heat transfer, either can be joules or BTU or watts. This is a thermal conductivity. So there is a possible question when they may give you in some unit, they may ask in a there are some unit conversion I have given the slide here, so you can memorize, but I have another sheet which is a different unit that I'll share it with you. Just remember some key unit conversion. You have to mark up, no other choice. So you have to mark up, and you can see conversion also. Before going to conversion, let's take some sample question. Then have you note down this formula and everything? Like, Q equal to Ka1 delta T by X1, right? And there is some unit conversion. I want to see here heat transfer coefficient, this unit conversion, please note down. If anything you want to copy, let me know. I will just go back to the slide. So here it is copied already, because now we are going to see.
You will be sharing the material, or
yes, material will be shared. That will be shared. No problem. But during the class, you have to hands-on with the problematic sum. Okay, so prepare with a notebook and calculator if you have, otherwise mobile calculator is sufficient. You can do, when you invert it, you can get all the scientific functions also. Right, so this is a unit conversion I have given. Maybe you can remember anyone, like a 1 watt per heat transfer coefficient unit with kilocalories, and there is a joule also here. Is there any given? Here, BTU, kilocalories, and joule. Right, so that is also will be useful. You can write, but here if any conversion required, I can go back to the slide and I can show you. Later on you can mark up. Okay, let's go back to the first question. So the question talking about the rate of heat transfer by conduction per unit area by means of a conduction for furnace wall made of fire clay. There is a furnace. This is made up of fire clay. Thermal conductivity of furnace given, K is given, X is given, that's a 6 feet, but X is in one side only. So what we are talking about the heat transfer coefficient, that's for the whole transfer, right? That is what we have to calculate. Here it is only 6 inches is the one side thickness. So you have to take a both side thickness, the total heat transfer from the wall temperature. That's what you have to calculate here. The furnace wall temperature can be taken, which is 650 and outer is a 150. So what you have to calculate? Heat transfer by conduction per unit area of wall, right? So that is what you have to calculate. Area is given or not? Per unit area you have to calculate. That means Q by A you have to calculate. So what is the temperature different? Delta T, right? Then convert this inch into feet. 12 inch equal to 1 feet. Right? Convert the inch into feet, then multiply by the thermal conductivity. Here it is a Kelvin, temperature is in Kelvin, K, but here it is in a degree centigrade. So you know what is the conversion, right? You have to add 273, isn't it? Minus 273. But since here it is a different, whatever if you add up also it's not going to be the thing. So you can straight away minus of 650 minus 150, you can straight away calculate. 650 minus 150 multiply by 0.3 divided by the thickness. What is the answer? Anybody got the answer? You have to calculate Q by A. And one thing here, it is in a meter also, right? You need to convert into meter also. 1 feet into meter, isn't it? So how many feet, what is the conversion for 1 meter? 1 feet equal to how many meter? 3 point? Okay, I'll just show you here. See whether you can get some clue how to calculate, because it's the first term. You can see T1 is a 650. This is the formula. What we are going to calculate, Q by A we have to calculate. Okay. T1 is a 650. T2 is a 150. Length supposed to be, we can 6 inch only, but 6 inch is the one side, because what we are going to calculate by the area. Total heat transferred by area. That's why you have to take a 12 inch, both side thickness. And it is converted to meter, right? That's what I said. See the unit, watt per meter K, that is given. That means you need to convert feet into meter and degree centigrade into Kelvin also. But since it's a different 650 minus 150, even though you add 273, it is not going to give you. So that is why you can keep it as a degree. But the feet, yes, you have to calculate, you have to convert it. So that means it's a 0.01 feet is nothing but 0.0254 meter. Please remember this. You may get a question in feet, get option in a meter also. These are some key things you have to mark up. So then if you substitute, the answer is a 492. 0.3 is your thermal conductivity, temperature difference, and divided by the the length. That gives you a 492.13 watt per meter square. Understand? This is a previously asked the question in the exam. Next one. Here, the two metals have the same size. Thermal conductivity of metal 2 times of thermal conductivity of metal 1. Okay. So one end of the metal, one is heated, T1 is 100 degree, right? And another metal is heated to 20. There is a temperature T1, T2 they have given. Then what is the temperature between both metals? So what they have given, two metal is in touch, one T1 is given and the T2 it is given. So now they are talking about it in between. But area is same size. That means area is going to be the same, right? Only thermal conductivity, K1, thermal conductivity of metal 2 is a 2 times of, that means K2 equal to 2K1, right? K2 equal to 2K1 and substitute. Area is going to be same, so you can cancel it. So you can do the equation. There is a 2 equation, Q1, Q2. Right? If you say since there is a same size and there is a correlation between the thermal conductivity, you can cancel the heat transfer also. Then only you can calculate the temperature difference. Understand? Q1, Q2 make it, so make it divided by, make it Q1 by Q2 equal to same. Then you will get a K, there is an equation, you will get K1 A into T1 minus T. Right? That's a T minus T1, isn't it? T minus T1. Then another one, you will have a K2 A, here T minus T2. So T2 minus T1, something. So you have to find out. One end of the metal is heated, so yeah. One end is metal 1 heated, T1, and one end of metal is heated, so T2 is 25 degrees. So in between, what is the temperature? Anybody got the answer? Have solved anything? No? See, the thing is, you have to, this is how I said about K1, T1 minus T2, right? Here, T1 is the T1 minus T, I would say, T1 minus T. Here it is going to be T2 minus T minus T2. This is what the diagram. You can see there is a one metal, two metal is in touch. T1 is 100 degree, T2 is 25 degree. The question is what is T? Okay. So when you equal Q by T is going to be cancelled. So you will have a Ka T1 minus T. T is the one you are going to calculate, and here T minus 25. AA will cancel. K2 is nothing but 2K. Understand? So if you solve this, 100 minus T into 2 into T minus 25. That's 100 minus T, 2 into T minus 25. So if you solve this, you'll get a T equal to 50 degrees centigrade. Right? Have you any doubt in this? Or are you clear about the step? So that means there is a two metals same size, and they're talking about the thermal conductivity. There is a correlation. That means Q is going to be the Q1, Q2 is going to be the same. So you can equal both equation. That's what here K1, A1 and K2, A2. A1 equal to A2. K2 equal to 2K1. That if you remember that, then you can solve that equation, right? So this is a very common question. They will give this kind of metal in same size, and they may change the temperature. T1, T2 may be different temperature they can give. Try to hands-on with this exercise. The third one I'm going to show you. I'm not going to show you how you have to solve it. I have given you the picture also. The following shows different. The following shows A and B metal rods connected at one end. Okay, the cross-sectional area of both rods the same. Area same. Length is A is twice the length of B. That means L1 equal to 2L2, I would say. Thermal coefficient A is 3 times of B. That means Ka equal to 3 Kb. Right? Then what is the temperature at the junction? That's a question. The same method, this is the same method, you can use it. But here A also you have to substitute, L also you have to substitute. Okay?
Can you go back to the question, please? Ma'am. Ma'am.
Ma'am, can you go back to question?
You asked something, is it?
Yeah,
Can you go back to the question?
I couldn't hear your voice. That's what I was also struggling. Okay, let me see.
Question.
Wait.
Please go back to question.
Can you hear me now? Right.
Ma'am, we need question.
Any answer?
Question. Can you go back to question? Yes, thank you.
The same method, you have to use it. The same step. Only thing here, K1, K2, 2, K1 and area also is given, isn't it? Length is given. Area is the same. Only length is given.
Is it 86?
What's the 86? Not sure. Let's see. Anybody? Any other answer?
76.
Yeah, why 86, 76, two answer here already. So then Anand, you are going to be the judge. What is your answer? So what is your answer? That is going to be the final then. Okay, let's see. The answer is 76. Why?
Why?
Let's see. Is it right? 140. You can see 140 here. Thermal conductivity A equal to 3K.